Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by Hossam Hashin. Hossam has went across several continents, making a huge impact in education, entrepreneurship, and pharmaceuticals. He is the founder and CEO of Career Academic and Development Centers, and they provide top-notch education with their prestigious partners who are renowned global universities and schools. So we're going to be talking to him about everything that he's up to and the huge impact that he's making. So Sam, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I'm here and thanks for hosting.
Well, why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, that's like a good start. So my name is Hossam Hashin. I'm from Egypt. So when you are coming from a small city in Egypt, um, it's a bit, people are away from so many opportunities, so many chances, so many educational opportunities. So I was very lucky with my family. They were very open and they were searching always for better opportunities, not only for me, but also for my siblings. And I went to an American school, and then I got really good score in Egypt. I went to pharmacy school. I graduated from Faculty of Pharmacy, and my journey to study abroad started. I started my first study abroad program with the U.S. Department of State scholarship to study in the United States. And then it gets more into like Germany, Serbia, Switzerland, and then I get the scholarship in France, and then the Swedish Institute scholarship. And now I have my own business, which is called Career and Academic Development Center, abbreviation for Cadc. And my target is to promote global education and facilitate the procedure for students who are interested to study abroad and pursue their personal and academic development abroad. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, so kind of tell us about the CACD and kind of
Yeah.
tell us exactly what you do and why you decided to start it.
I decided to start it because I was studying abroad since 2011, and when every time I go back to Egypt, I really had this kind of exclamatory faces of everyone when they know about, oh, how did you make it for the US? How did you get accepted in this university? How did you find this internship? How did you get accepted in this scholarship? How did you know about that? What is the resume? What is the motivation letter? We don't know anything about that. And I went to France on a scholarship. It's called Eiffel Excellence, where I studied my MBA. And in the MBA, you study how to start up your own business, how to make up a company or start your own company. And I decided to make my project is for a company that could facilitate the procedure for international students like myself who want to study abroad and apply for scholarships as well. So this was the idea, but to make it real, I really needed some partners to be credible. I target people who are living in the like around the world, and when you are global, you don't have an office in each country, and people would have really some concerns about your credibility. So I started to build my credibility by partnerships. I signed contracts with universities in France, in the UK, in Germany. Now we signed as well with the QS World Ranking. And we have an access for more than 1,500 universities around the world, in almost in every country around the world. And the credibility started from there. The social media as well was very good, like for the marketing for the project. And I think the most important element in this project is my personal experience. When people like they go to watch my videos, oh, and they see some videos I made about my previous experiences. I got accepted in Sweden, I got accepted in France, I went to the US, I went to Serbia, I went to Germany, and then they start to get kind of confidence that they could do the same as I did before. And now, we really have really good foundation. We have students from Saudi Arabia, from Bahrain, from Egypt, from Ethiopia, from South Africa, from Malaysia. So it's really growing, and I'm really happy with the network that we are building right now with Cadc. So basically, we connect students to universities and we promote programs of universities to the globe, especially the world now is changing, and they are looking for programs that are related to sustainability or the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And we really promote programs in this sector and the scholarships as well. And we connect students and universities all together. This is basically what we do, and we help students as well with their visa, with their accommodation, with what they should do before leaving, like in the form of pre-departure orientation. And the feedback so far is really amazing.
We'll talk about three things that a student can do to if they want to get accepted in an exchange program.
Maybe the first thing, based on my previous experience, is really the personal development. People, when they ask me now, oh, you are lucky, you got all these scholarships. And I was like, yes, it has maybe a bit of luck, but I really spent a lot of time and a lot of energy to improve myself, to improve my language, to reach my language to a really good level, so that when I have an interview in the American embassy, they would be impressed with my level of the language as a foreigner person or as a foreigner student. So this is something. The personal development could be as well how to talk when you have confidence in the interview, or if you have confidence. So I really recommend students in their in their colleges or during college time, it's better really to participate in student activities. Student activities really elevate the level of the communication, the presentation skills. It kills your like if you are a shy person, it will kill this feeling in you. You will be more open, you will be more confident, you will be able to really have this kind of spontaneous way of answering questions. And this is something very important when you are apply for exchange programs or a scholarship. Maybe the second advice I could say is to really participate in volunteering. Scholarships are really made for good students who have really outstanding educational background, but on the other hand, actually, they look for students who are not nerds. They don't students who are going from classroom to their rooms and that's it, or from the room to the classroom. No, they want student who is active, who could participate in the community. And during college, the volunteering and the extracurricular activities inside or outside the university is something I really recommend students to do. And the last advice is to really focus on the academic level. I don't want you to be like, super excellent, but very good would be fine, because the scholarship committee will look at your file holistically. And it's very important as well to have really good academic background. So maybe those are the three advices that I could provide: the academic achievement, the volunteering and extracurricular activities, and also the personal development in terms of the communication skills, presentation skills, and the way you talk to people.
Well, talk about what are some of the academic benefits for studying abroad?
This question would be different, like the answer would be different from person to another person. But for me, coming from Egypt, our curriculum in the school is really stubborn, is based on memorizing. You have to go to college. You have maybe a lab, but you have really to study a lot. You have to memorize. So for me, studying in Europe, for example, or in the US is super different. In Europe, you are obligated to have an internship at least once during your academic program. This is something I didn't have in Egypt. The studying abroad inside your program. For example, when I was in France, we had 3 trips. We had a trip to Belgium, Czech Republic, Italy, and then at the end of the program, the university itself, away from my program, nominated me to go for a program, a fourth program in Spain for sustainability. This is something we don't have in our countries. So for me, as coming from this culture, this background, studying abroad is really kind of a window to a different world I didn't have. I didn't have this access, the access for all these opportunities and exploring the world in my region when I really talk about the Middle East or Egypt specifically. So for me, the internship, it really improved a lot my professional background. And I remember after graduation from the Sorbonne University in France, when I started to do my interviews, they asked me about, oh, how was your performance in your internship during the MBA? What did you do? What did you learn? So I felt that the internship part was really crucial and important in like during my academic program in France. In addition to, they were very excited about, oh, how was the trip to Belgium? What did you learn? Because the trips to other countries like were for a reason. In Italy, we learned about entrepreneurship, so we met experts in starting up a company. In the Czech Republic, we learned how to start a business in Eastern Europe and the opportunities and the chances to build a business in Eastern Europe. And Czech Republic was a good example for that. And when we went to Belgium, it was more to learn about the European Union, about the European Parliament, the Central Bank of Europe, the economics of Europe, etc. This is something really I didn't have in Egypt. So that was really interesting. If I talk about the United States as an example, in North America, for example, I remember my degree is pharmacy. So when I went to the US for a year, the scholarship placed me in New Jersey for a reason, because it's the headquarters of pharmaceutical companies. And they were right, because I had my internship in Novartis company. That's a big Swiss pharmaceutical company. And it was in the oncology department that I really wanted. And I remember because of this program in the US and this internship, I was nominated to attend the biocamp in Switzerland in the headquarters of Novartis in Basel. And because of that, I got my job in Egypt in Novartis. I was really recruited because they were like, oh, he had like in the interview, they were very impressed with my experience, like in really young age in the US and Switzerland and the big 2 headquarters for the same company. So if we'll think about it, studying abroad will improve your language. It will improve your academic skills, your professional background, your career. You're also the opportunity. You will be able to explore the other opportunities that you won't have an access if you're coming from a region like myself, which is the Middle East. Maybe another student who lives in the US or in Europe or in Asia, if you ask them this question, or if you asked him or her, maybe they would have a different answer. But this is based on my background.
What are the top 5 cities and universities for studying internationally?
Actually, that's a very good question, because I got a lot of questions when students come to me and they want to study in the best or the best city or the best university. But because I studied really in many places, it's not it's never like that. You don't think about it this way. You think about the really different demography is very important for sure. If you really want to be in a big city, is different from when you are in a metropolitan area. It's different from in an area that is in the middle of nowhere, right? You don't have the same chances as a student. So maybe my advice is not the best five, but maybe I can advise the students to really try their best to be in a metropolitan city. Maybe it's not important to be in the capital, but a metropolitan city would be very beneficial. So if we give an example about France, Paris is a good location. Lyon is a good location. Marseille is a good location because those cities are metropolitan cities. When you are in a metropolitan area, you have an access to more career opportunities, more job opportunities, more cultural diversity. So you will be able to meet as well a lot of people from different backgrounds and cultures, and this will make you feel kind of included. Like, the feeling of inclusion is very important. So this is what I think. You really think about the demography, you think about the career opportunities, but there is no best universities or best cities. Think about the program, the what you are going to really learn in this program. So if you are going to study artificial intelligence in healthcare, for example, that's a very specialized program. It doesn't really matter which city you're in. It doesn't matter which university you're in. The most important is that the university is accredited inside the in the country where you are in. Uh, because going to Sorbonne, for example, it's not meant for everyone. It's very difficult. A lot of students they apply. Not everyone could be accepted in Harvard, right? Not everyone could be accepted into Stanford or Cornell or Brown. So I really don't think about it this way. The most important is the accreditation of the university and the career opportunities in the country and in the city.
Okay, everybody, it's Michael E. Cullen II.
And I'm Sesame and Carta from the All Too Real 2 podcast. We're passionate about movies, TV, and pretty much all things pop culture.
Dive into the chaos of failed sitcoms, direct-to-video sequels, and the quirky realms of cinema and TV.
Join us every Thursday for your dose of All Too Real 2 entertainment.
We'll guide you through debates like whether Howard the Duck qualifies as a superhero.
Ponder if Larry the Cable Guy could be the new Rock or Schwarzenegger.
Discover if some shows and movies should have stayed in the cutting room.
Ever heard of a sitcom featuring that dictator with the funny mustache? Well, we watched it.
We're dedicated to unraveling the peculiarities of pop culture, sometimes with awesome guests.
So, if you're into the eccentric world of pop culture,
listen and subscribe to All Too Real 2.
Available wherever you find podcasts
and on Age of Radio.
So, what does the future of students studying abroad look like? Talk about that.
The future is very good, and is excellent actually. Why I say this is because of many reasons. If you will talk about Europe, for example, Europe really has a lot of problems because of the shortage of human resources. And you can see the laws are changing. Sometimes governments are stubborn, or maybe the politics sometimes they have some talks that could make some students really get afraid or something. But in the reality, the law so far is pro international students, because the only way to attract human resources that are really skilled, that they would really contribute to the community, to the economics or the economy of the country, and also would fulfill to fill the gaps of the human resources. The only way is to get more international students. And you can see the United Kingdom, for example, for graduate students, if you have a bachelor or a master degree, they offer you, if you couldn't find a job, a 2-year graduate visa to stay in the UK to search for a job. And if you have a PhD, you will get a 3-year visa, graduate visa, to stay in the country. And if you think about it, it's kind of a retention strategy to retain international students in the UK, because they have shortage almost in all domains, including engineering, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, a lot of domains. If you think about France, they offer you 1 year to stay after your graduation to search for a job. Germany, 18 months, 1 year and a half. The United States, if you are going to study STEM, like, sciences, technology, mathematics, like these fields that the US really really needs, like, because they have a lot of opportunities, you will be able to get like an OPT for 3 years to stay in the US. And when you really think about it, also as another example, Netherlands changed the law of nationality. They want international students to come, or people to come work, study, work, and then they pay taxes. They really build their own career, and then in 5 years you get the nationality without, like, without learning Dutch, for example. It's now not a mandatory element in the nationality application. And if we will talk about, so many examples, we can talk for an hour about so many examples. But that's why I really encourage students to go chase opportunities. There are so many opportunities. A lot of countries, they really need international students to come. A lot of countries as well, sometimes they don't have trust in the degrees, international degree from, like, in Europe, for example, they don't trust. Sometimes, I'm just giving an example, it's not something official, but if they really don't trust the degree that you have from Egypt, for example, when you come to Europe and you have your own master or PhD from Europe, that's kind of a trust, because you have a certificate from the government, and this something really they like when you have a degree. And that's why as well France, they have a law, if you are a student who have a degree from France, either master, PhD, or a bachelor degree, you have a faster track to get the nationality. It will add some points to you just because you have a degree from France. So this is the future that I see is really interesting for people who want to chase their dreams. If you are looking for a better opportunity, better country, better standard, standards to live in. I really recommend and encourage students to go apply either for scholarships or on their own expenses. And I am sure they will find the huge return of investment for that.
So if I wanted to join your international academic program, give me 3 tips so I could be successful.
If you want to be successful to really pass all the procedure, if you will talk about Cadc, for example, we really choose students as well. We really we receive a request from students about what they want, etc., and then we meet to check how students answer, their level of English, what they are looking for, exactly what they want. So maybe the advices that I would give is the first one is really to be you really need to know what you want to do, right? You cannot just come to me and say, oh, I want to study abroad. If you don't have a plan of what you really want to study, where you want to study, at least you should have a short list of countries. Like, I want to study, for example, in France or Germany, or France, Germany, or Belgium. You really need to focus on the language skills. It's very important to have really good level of language. You will need this during the interview to apply for universities. But by the way, in Cadc, we also prepare students for the interview. I don't want your English to be like a native. My English is not like natives. So I'm not expecting you to be in the level of a native person, but at least you really need to practice on the communication. You really need to be natural and spontaneous during answering the question. And this is kind of practice. So the language is very important. The documents are very important. Sometimes people, they send me emails and they say, oh, I want to get a scholarship, but my GPA is super low. My GPA is like 2 or 1.9. I don't want an interview. I don't want to take an IELTS exam or TOEFL exam. And this type of this profile of students, we really don't help. We don't take them into our account. But if a student has really good passion. They really want, they really knew what they want to do, what they want to study. If they have their own documents, they should provide the certificate, the transcript. If we ask them for a letter of recommendation, they should be responsible in getting the letter of recommendation. We can help for sure on telling them what should be in this letter. But it's their own responsibility to have really good communication and networking with their professors or managers to provide letter of recommendations. And finally, they really need to listen carefully on what we really like advise. Like when we say something for a student, like if I will give you like a small example about the domain. Sometimes you come that you want to study computer sciences, but then we advise you, take care. The future is for the artificial intelligence or data science. It's better than having a degree in computer science. Be specialized in that. So we also give student advices about, based on our experience, about what we see. I live abroad, so I can really give also some credible advices based on what I see around me. So this is what we really hope. So if we will give three, if we would like, give them a brief of three elements: the language, the documents, and the like listening carefully on what we really provide in terms of the information.
Tell us about any upcoming projects that you and your company are working on that listeners need to be aware of.
Actually, a lot. So we, for example, the Saudi Arabia, for example, it's a really nice market, and the Saudi Arabian government, they have scholarships called IMDAD for Saudi students to study abroad in the UK, in the US, etc. And we really want to have this kind of collaboration, because now we have really more than 1,500 universities around the world, and the scholarship from Saudi Arabia, there are only 460 eligible universities, so we have almost all of them. So that's a very good project if we have this collaboration to help Saudi students to enroll into this IMDAD scholarship to pursue their bachelor and master degree abroad. So this is a project. We also have the scholarship accelerator course. As I already mentioned before, I really got so many scholarships before: the Swedish Institute, IFL Excellence, Global U Grade, 2 scholarships in Belgium, in Serbia and Germany as well. So we have what's called a scholarship accelerator course, where we teach students how to build a competitive application for scholarships, and how to be from the top 2% or 3% of students. So you would have higher chances to be accepted. And now we have this course that would fit all scholarships, actually. If you want to apply for Achieving in the UK or Fulbright in the US, IFL Excellence in France, Swedish Institute in Sweden, and Erasmus Mundus, we would be able to help you, and we would be able to really have good pathway for you. We teach you how to build the motivation letter, the recommendation letter. We show you as well previous profiles of students who made it before you, so you would have an idea about the competitive level of those previous students. And this is also another project. So those are the 2 main projects that I focus on right now. And in terms of the business development, we already have the company in Egypt. So now we are in the process to have it in different parts around the world. We succeeded in having one in Sweden. So now we have a branch in Stockholm in Sweden, and hopefully soon in other countries in Europe.
Throw out your contact information so listeners can keep up with everything that you're up to.
You can search on all social media platforms about Cadc, CADC, Career and Academic Development Center, and you will find our page on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Also on the TikTok, we have English TikTok for the English speakers, and we have also Arabic TikTok for the Arab world, or the people or the Arabian people who speak Arabic. So we have 2 TikTok account, so we reach everyone. And then you will be able to find us very, very easily.
close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if there was something I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Thank you. Thank you. That's nice of you. Honestly, I think we talked about everything. Maybe I can end the talk with just an advice for all students or parents who would listen to this podcast. Really, the studying abroad, it changed my life. Not only my life, but also the lives of many people, including my siblings. Even my two sisters, they traveled abroad. They got accepted into exchange programs. They got their degrees from really reputable universities around the world. The skills you get when you study abroad is not only academic, but on the other hand, you really improve a lot of your like personal skills when you are independent, when you have to take care of everything, you have to be responsible. This reflects on your future. It reflects also on your career because you will be responsible. You will count on your abilities and capabilities as well. So maybe the last advice is that you really need to study abroad at least one time in your life.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you or you know somebody that's interested in studying abroad, please follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. Jump on your favorite podcast app, give us a review, follow us. If you have any guest or suggestion topics, Curtis Jackson 1978 at att.net is the place to send them. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. And Hossam, thank you for all you do, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. It was amazing to talk to you. Thank you.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.